Hey guys, how's it going and thanks for coming. I'm Nick. This is Real Life Money. Don't forget to subscribe if this helps you out. So I'm pretty disappointed, guys, because as I was looking around for the best savings accounts for 2020, welcome to 2020 by the way, Happy New Year's, they weren't the best ever. There are some good ones, there's a lot of bad ones, and we're going to talk about them. But if you really want to be scared and real concerned, not like a jump scare, not like a boo, but like really concerned about your money, stick around to the end because no one's talking about this and we should. But first and foremost, the savings accounts. So I really thought that a bunch more saving accounts were better than they are, but here we are, and I tried to pick out the best for you guys to choose. Now the first one is technically you don't have to change any bank that you have because you could link it with something else and you could buy T-bills or treasury bills directly from the government. Unless you're against the government, pro-Illuminati, this could definitely be an option. Now unfortunately rates are really weird right now. It's a flat yield curve, so it's not beneficial for right now, but it's a good place to start. So you could actually go to Treasury Direct, and they're kind of something to compare to is like a CD, but not as long, and you're investing in the government. So you could put your money into like a 4-week or 8-week T-bill, and you get interest that way, and it just links to your bank account, so you really don't have to change things around. So you can see right here a couple of rates. You could go like 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 13 weeks, 26 weeks, really depends what you want to do, but you can see they're all kind of the same because of that flat yield curve. Thank you, the Federal Reserve. But they're giving around like a 1.5% right now. In a more normal environment, these T-bills could be paying more than a savings account. Like last year they were paying more than savings account, but now things are just screwed up. The next bank that we're going to be talking about, you probably heard of, basic simple, you can't beat the basics, Ally Bank. So they do have a savings account with 1.6%. I'm trying to pick the best accounts that don't have like ridiculous minimum balances and fees that no one looks at. Like these are the good accounts that you could actually go for. Ally Bank, a lot of people know it's like probably the most popular online bank, and they are giving, I mean, basically anyone's giving more than like a commercial bank like Chase, Bank of America. Those are so low, they're giving you absolutely nothing, which is why we're talking about these. Now, if you are scared of online banks and there's no physical location, it really depends on who you are, but if you really don't go to the bank a lot now, you're probably not going to go to the bank a lot in the future. So very similar, you could do online banking just like you do now most likely, and it's insured by the FDIC, so you're insured up to $250,000 along with many of the banks out there. Whether the FDIC is actually insured of all of the deposits out there, they probably don't have the amount of liquidity out there. I'm not going into that. It is kind of terrifying though. Fun fact, I heard there's like trillions of dollars in savings accounts and they only have like 25 billion liquid, so if there's a rush on the bank, we're screwed. That's not the video. Let's get into the next bank accounts. So next one, because we kind of talked about like commercial banks, they usually give garbage. You could look into credit unions. They're not-for-profit banks. They could be in your local area, so I'm not going to focus on any specific one. Mine, personally, it does give a 1.6% interest rate as well. It's technically with a money market account. But there could be a local bank near you. It could give a decent interest rate, so you could definitely check out your options in your area. Now the next handful are basically all the same interest rates. Different companies, they seem very similar. They're not like better than the other one, it's really up for your preference. So this one is Marcus by Goldman Sachs. They're giving a 1.7% interest rate, which is not too bad at all. Obviously you could see they're much higher than other banks. No fees, no minimum deposits, exactly what you want to do. Some require like $5,000 or $25,000 minimum deposit. I think that's insane. So you want to have low minimum balances, so you don't have to deal with any of that. I'm not going to go into too much detail about these. If anyone stands out to you, you could look into that a little bit further. But some of the other ones, which gives similar rates. Barclays bank account, they give a 1.7% APY, similar to Discover. They also give a 1.7% APY. Now personally for me, because I actually just opened up a Discover savings account because they kept sending me things in the mail, I have a Discover credit card. Their platform and their website is just so easy to navigate, which is why I went with their savings account. And they did have a promotion. It might be ending very soon, but I feel like they're just continuously doing new promotions. So for example, I mean, this is if you have a good amount of money to deposit, but if you have $15,000, they actually give you $150 bonus. And if you have or deposit $25,000, they'll give you $200 cash bonus. And like I said, it might be ending very soon, or if not ended already, but I will say they probably will have bonuses in the near future, if not a new one right now. Next one, a lot of people might have been talking about whether this is going to happen sooner rather than later, probably later rather than sooner, but this is with Robinhood cash management account. This gives you a 1.8% APY. You can sign up for their waiting list, so they are still trying to create it, but that is still a thing. I feel like they originally announced this like a year ago. I got on the waiting list. Nothing happened because they were struggling to set it up. It was technically not a savings account. It was like an investment account. So they're trying to do something else with that. But 1.8 is not too bad. Now this next one I would actually definitely look into. If I didn't do like the Discover one, I would probably look into this more. Heck, I might do this on the side as well. But this is with Synchrony Bank. They give you also a 1.8% interest. I heard they also might give some rewards as well. I was trying to look through it, but it might be changing throughout time. Some might be good now, sometimes they just cancel it. But they are linked with a bunch of store credit cards. I believe Walmart uses Synchrony Bank, fun fact. So they actually might give you some cool rewards if you want to look into that a little bit further. And plus with that 1.8, pretty good. The next hot shot in the industry, which just beat the other ones by like that much, is Wealthfront, because it's giving a 1.82% interest rate. That's right, they beat them by 0.02%. And listen, I'm the type of guy that would go for something like that just to get that extra 0.2%, if you know what I'm saying. Unless I'm just crazy, that's possible too. Unfortunately, they do have a minimum balance of $1. So if you could handle that $1, you can open up an account with that 1.82%, which is decent. Now the next one, I was trying to get into their website. It seems a little bit weird, but I was going through the reviews and it actually seems decent. No minimum balance, fees are right. There's just not many ATMs. But if you're looking for a savings account, you probably shouldn't be transferring money in and out very frequently. So I threw it in. So this one is My Savings Direct. They're giving a 1.9% interest rate. Now it says they're a division of Immigrant Bank and they were around since 1850, so it's not like they're a new thing. And I was looking around the website and it also might seem like they deal with metals, like gold coins, silver coins. I might look into it just to see what it's about. But it is something to look at, especially with that 1.9%. Now it's time to get real. Here's the problem, guys. So there are some bank accounts out there that are slightly above 2%. I saw some at 2.05%, but their minimum balances were like $5,000. And if you want to do that, you can, to get that extra 0.15% more than 1.9, you know, it really depends on who you are. For me personally, I probably wouldn't. And watch out, because you might have to leave it in there. So read the small print that no one reads. You should probably read it, because sometimes you have to leave it in there for a certain amount of time. Maybe like a quarter, like 3 months, maybe 6 months, or sometimes even a month. Now the thing with these interest rates are, because of the Federal Reserve, is that they could actually fluctuate. They've been fluctuating a lot over the past year, because if the Federal Reserve drops interest rates, they usually drop savings account rates as well. Now, the most recent decision was, I believe it was early December, and they kept rates the same, and that's why a lot of the rates were the same. But when you see, like, let's say, some accounts were actually around 2% like a few months ago. Since then, they dropped. So if your account drops, that's probably why. Now, if you stuck around this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But I want to get into the concerning part that no one talks about. Yes, because if you're comparing it to like a Chase account giving you 0.01% interest, and you're looking at a 1.8% interest, that's like it's not a billion times better, but actually it might be. It's very much better than a commercial bank. But here's the problem, because no one wants to talk about this. It's an issue because it's a little thing called inflation. And the Fed is trying to keep inflation around 2%. That's probably a lie, just saying. So anyway, if it's around 2% or higher than 2%, that means things around you, everything, food, clothes, housing, anything, increases, let's say, an average of 2%. So if your money is increasing 1.8%, you're technically losing money every single month due to inflation. You have negative real rates right now. So yeah, it might seem great to get these higher interest rate savings accounts, but I will say we're not going to get ahead by putting all our money in a savings account. Sorry. I know I bursted a lot of people's bubbles there, but I have to say it because we're not going to get ahead saving our money, so we have to find other ways to grow our money faster than a savings account because we're losing buying power due to inflation. The news will never tell you that. So if you want to find out ways of how to beat that inflation, I could have next videos coming out about that. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Which savings account are you going after? Let us know. Or if you found a better one than the ones that I found. So thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see ya in the next one.